Hey everybody, it's your host of About This Aging Thing, Sabrina.
Go ahead, say it.
And Mistress Angela. Now let me say this. I know I look a mess. Somebody called me and said, hey, I got an idea for the show. I want to do it like now. And can we go ahead and record it? And I was like, okay. I don't have no makeup on. I've been in front of my laptop all day. Let's do it. And guess what else? I didn't ask her what it's about. Because I thought it'd be fun not to know. I'm going to learn. I'm going to hear this with the rest of you all.
Absolutely.
So, Mistress Angela.
Yes. Woo! We did that in perfect sync.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
So before we get started, we need to do a toast to today.
Today.
We are in June, and it's the 6th month of the year. So we're halfway through 2025. Can you believe that?
So fast.
I know, right? So let me take a sip.
Summer's my favorite time of the year, and I don't like it. It feels like it goes so fast. I don't like that.
This is delicious. So the emergency is, people, Sabrina, I had a few calls this week, and I said, you know what? I've got to call Sabrina. We got to talk about this, right? Summer is here. Well, the official day is in, later this month, but summertime is here. All the festivities, activities, and people's hormones are like in full gear, right? Mm-hmm. And they said to me, the question to me was, I miss I miss having passionate sex or a passionate session. And I was like, what do you mean? Mm-hmm. It's like, I want to have intimacy, like, you know how when you miss somebody and you get together for the first time? Or it's been a long time and you get with somebody? Are you thinking?
It's been. Oh, you asking me the question?
I'm asking in general. It's both. It's both, right? But you're here, so
I'm about to start singing. It's been a long time.
So, I mean, if you think about when you are really into somebody, right? And it's been a minute, whatever it is, if they live in different states or whatever, and you having that long distance thing, and when you get together, the explosion that happens, right? It was like, I miss that with my partner, and I was like,
just in general, like the partner that you have here every day,
right?
The passion is gone.
Right, right. And I was like, so I talked to a few people, and I was like, so what do you think the biggest hang up is? And they would say, oh yeah, passion is not there. I mean, it's like a chore. Intimacy is a chore. Somebody's not in the mood, somebody's grouchy about work, societal stuff, the increase of everything, right? Everything costs a lot. But then at the same time, they're having these desires. Summertime, springtime, gets your blood flowing and blood pumping. You know what I mean? So what do you do with that energy? The biggest question was, how can I stay faithful and stay and get that passion back in our relationship? Because they're not getting it feels like everybody is trying to flirt with them, hook up with them, or whatever.
Wait, they're not getting any in their relationship? Okay.
Because the passion is not there. They're thinking the passion is not there.
Oh, I see. The desire. Girl, you cute. Boy, you fine.
Right.
It's gone.
So I wanted to talk about, like, do you have, I guess you can say, I miss you sex, right? I miss you. How do you keep that in your relationship? How do you get that? How do you get that passion when you're in a relationship and it's just, it's just like doing the dishes? And I was like,
did you fix them?
Did I fix
Mistress Angela?
We had some conversations.
So did you continue?
Yeah, they're on a plan.
Nice.
They're on a coaching plan, right? Because they're pretty far to the left right now. They're trying not to go over the edge. So, yeah. So I was like, I know that this time of year brings a lot of desire, and when you're by yourself, or if you're with somebody and you feel like you're by yourself, how are you managing?
That's the worst.
Right. So how do we do that? So that's why I wanted to do it now, because it is the start of the summertime, the springtime, getting outside, picnics, parks, music, and then they come home and there's nothing. They go on a date and they've been together for a minute. They plan the perfect date, because they plan dates like I talk about. But it's just like, okay, well, I'm tired. But then they have energy for everything else. So they feel like, the passion is not there. They don't have a desire for each other. So I wanted to really talk about, can you recapture that desire? Or what does it look like to have an exciting type
Sorry, y'all. Excuse me.
You need,
I'm not sick, y'all. I
Take a
just
sip.
got this dumb, dry cough.
Oh, we'll take a sip.
I know I'm not sick for a fact. Because nobody else is sick.
Do tell, nobody else is sick.
This is your show. Go ahead.
But anyway, it's us, right? I wanted us to really talk about that because it is prevalent. Have you ever experienced that, or what is it like to experience? I miss you. sessions, as we call them, right?
Uh-huh.
How do we get those I miss you sessions, that passion from our I miss you session, back into our daily your frequency of intimacy with your partner? That's what we need to really get into before the summer kicks in. And if you can't get it and these tips that we're talking about doesn't work, then we really need to sit down and talk, right? So you don't go to the other side if you're in a relationship, that you don't cheat, right? Because this is cheating season for a lot of people, or side boo, whatever you call them. What do they call people now?
Side chicks, side. I don't know what guys are called.
What are guys called?
Side dudes. Side dudes. I don't know.
Maintenance men? I don't know. What is it called?
You went back to 2000.
I did go back, right? I don't know what we call people anymore. So that
people
was
you shouldn't be with. Oh, sorry.
Especially if you're in a connection with somebody.
You're in a relationship.
Absolutely. So I know you have experience. I'm assuming you have experienced passionate sex in your life. I'm assuming. I mean, you're a grown person. You're over 50. Somewhere in your life, you should have experienced some passionate sex, right?
That's my business.
Okay.
You want me to speak to that?
Please do. Please do. So that's the emergency today.
All right, y'all. So I'm going to say I have been a truly blessed, lucky, just really very fortunate to have good people in my life that were passionate, and I was passionate. I will say this: the last relationship was my husband, right? I will say that in the 10 years we were together, this is gonna sound like that's not true. She's lying. I just told somebody the other day that my husband was so good, I barely told my friends about the things he would do because nobody would believe me, right?
Wow.
And also, I don't want to share that with people who are not getting that because it doesn't feel good to say, guess what I did? You know what I mean? And you didn't do. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
That just doesn't feel good to share.
I'm glad I wasn't like that. You could tell me stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I tell you anything.
I'm like, yay!
Yeah. But I would say that the passion was always there because he was the first relationship that I learned what a real friendship was prior to getting in a relationship. When you have a real friendship, to me, when things start to get a little stale, you have more of a desire to do something about it because that's your girl, that's your boy, that's your friend. It's not just based on sex. Does that make sense? So the passion to me, I always did things. I put posters on his car when we were working at the same place. He would make my lunch. I know y'all, but he would make my lunch and put little notes in my lunchbox, tell me what he gonna do to me later. So that went on forever.
So you saying like the small things?
It's the small. I think it's detail. I hate it when people go, "Girl, marriage is work." I've never understood that. I never felt like marriage is work. I just felt like marriage is what I want. This is what I'm doing.
Right.
It doesn't feel like work, like a chore. People talk about marriage sometimes. Some people talk about marriage like it's a chore, girl. And yeah, we got to these years because this is hard. I mean, why is it so hard? Like, I don't know why it's so hard.
Do you think, and this is a question for everybody, right? Do you think it is harder for people if they settle, per se, or not being honest in a relationship? It makes it hard? Or, I mean, I know we all have our hang-ups, right? You know, sometimes it's hard. You know, maybe finances are hard, you know. Usually finances is one of the big things, but finances and sex, right?
You trying to say?
No, it's because we drink at the same
Oh,
time.
okay.
But so maybe that was hard because they didn't have the communication piece, right?
Yeah, communication is huge.
Right.
It makes me cringe when I hear people say that. Girl, marriage is hard, girl. Or a guy saying, "Ooh, this ball and chain." What? Like you should never feel that way.
Is it a trust thing, you think?
I don't know. I don't know what I can't speak for what. I've asked people, why do you think, what's hard about it?
So if you're in a relationship, right, and you're one of those people that thinks, that believes marriage is hard, what makes it hard for you, right? That's a real question. Like, you have to answer that for yourself. What's making this hard? Maybe I just don't like you right now. Sometimes we go through phases where we don't like each other.
And that's when that friendship kicks in and allows you to stay together. Of course, we're human. Of course that happens.
Absolutely.
There's been times when my husband got on my nerves and I just go lay on the couch.
So how do you get over that? You have to learn how to break the ice. Because, you know, so let me say this. Women, because I am one, right? We hold grudges for a long time. Even in personal relationships a lot of times, right? Like, we'll walk around and not talk. And not just women, but I've heard a lot about women, right? We get in our moods, right? We're moody, they say. That could be hormonal or whatever. And we just won't talk to you for a week at a time. Do you sometimes it's first we're mad and then we don't know how to break that madness, right? And the time wasted and that time of separation begins to build and build and build. So how did you get through those moments where you're mad, if somebody's mad about something, and talk to your partner again? How did you do that? Because I know you got mad, even though it was a perfect relationship.
It wasn't perfect. But yeah, perfect for me.
It was your soulmate, right? It was your soulmate.
Yeah.
How did you get over yourself, if that's okay for you to answer?
Yeah.
To be able to be loving again with your partner.
Yeah. So, Capricorns, we like to hold on to
Just a little something.
He also, being my friend, taught me how to fight fair. Because I didn't know how to do that. He taught me how to, like, if he would say, babe, what's wrong? Knowing something's wrong with me. And I go, like a lot of us do, nothing's wrong. And then walk around, and then nothing's wrong.
I'm good.
And then walk around, I'm good. And then walk around pissed, slamming. So one day he was like, we're not going to be able to do this. Like, you can't say nothing's wrong when it's obviously something wrong. And you can't slam another cabinet. So.
Right.
He was real tall, so he reached over me one day and held the cabinet I had just slammed. And then looked down at me and said, this is what we're going to need to do. You need to say, I'm upset about something, but I don't want to talk about it now. Because that's really what the nothing wrong is.
Absolutely.
And that actually was very empowering because now you know something is wrong. And now he says, he used to say, and now I can move on with my day because I know that we're going to get to it eventually.
Right.
Because you were honest to say, yeah, something's wrong.
Was that hard to do? Or once it was acknowledged, was it hard to do?
Once he said it, it made sense.
Right.
But I had been doing it like that for so long. And men running behind me, what's wrong? And playing that game that we play.
Right.
That I never thought about it until he said it. And when he said it, I was like, that makes sense. And I didn't want to waste a lot of time being mad and arguing. But it was so deeply ingrained in me because that's what I know. That's what I knew.
Absolutely.
So once he said that, then I was able to anytime say, or also what's fair was to say, let me know if it's about me. Because sometimes I come home from work frustrated and instead of saying, oh, I had a really hard day at work today, I'd just be mad. And then he's like, what's you mad about? We were fine this morning. You see?
So you had to learn how to explain your mood.
Yep. And I had to say, it's not you, babe, it's me. I'm going through blank. And he's like, well, let me know you want to talk about it. Now, this is what you can't do. Okay,
go ahead. Give me the tea, girl.
You can't do that and then get mad when he don't beg you. Like, you just said you don't want to talk about it. And you'll talk about it when you're ready. And then when he calls his boy and they go out, you can't get mad and go, I can't believe you're going out. And I had a bad day. You can't do that.
So is that something that you do? I mean, like people out here, is that something that you do? Do you hold on to it and expect somebody to be a mind reader? Because I think a lot of times we do think you should just, I've heard this many times when people in relationships, and even single people, you should just know what I want. You should just know what's wrong. And you expect somebody to be a mind reader.
That's insane.
Yeah. But we do that unconsciously though. We do that unconsciously. So I would say personally, like if you're in a space where you guys aren't even, let's not even get to the physical act of sex. Let's just talk about just being intimate in conversation and being cordial and respectful and loving to each other. Because if you can do that, then the sex part can come easy. If it's techniques or whatever, we can teach that, right? But you got to be willing to look at yourself first, right? Like you said, sometimes somebody just saying a simple statement, you have to let me know, right? I'm not ready to talk yet.
And then they'll get mad when they want to go somewhere else because you don't feel like talking. Right. You want them to sit there and wait for you. That's not cool.
So do you think it should be like within a certain time span? Like let's say a day or 2 days before you talk. Like some people will say, well, I'm not ready to talk yet. And they never come back to it. It might be a week later, 2 weeks later. By that time, I've forgotten what even happened that day. Do you think it should be like within 24 hours or what has worked for you in the past?
For us, if nobody didn't want to talk about it, I didn't let my body language show that at night when we're in the bed. So like I'm still going to snuggle, still going to get up under his armpit, still going to be in his neck, but I still might not be talking. But my body language is letting him know it's not you. Right. I'm not upset with you. Right. It's something else. I just need the support. Right. And he also knew that sometimes I just work it out for myself. And sometimes I would say, I don't need to talk about it. I just need to work it out. Because a lot of men are saviors. And fixers, and they just want to fix it to get it done, move it on, and we interpret it as, oh, you don't really care, you just want to be done with it. But they really, that's just how they function.
Right. They don't hold on. Most men don't hold on to things. Most men do not. Right. They want, like you said, want to fix it so we we can enjoy our time together, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes that can be annoying to women because they want to hold on to it.
And they want to talk.
Right.
Oh my God.
So do you, like, is it a time to turn off the talking with women? Like when we, let me say this. We have a tendency, I don't know about you guys, but I've experienced this, that I made my point, and you made your point, but then somebody in that, either myself or the other person, they want to come back to that point again and talk about it over and over and over again.
Yeah.
That's not productive, I don't think.
I don't
right?
do well with that.
Right. So how do you manage, or how can we help somebody manage not to keep repeating that? Like if I left your lights on in your car and your battery went dead because I went and got gas for your car, for example, right? And now you're mad for the week because your battery's dead. Like, I'm sorry, it was an accident, right? I went and got your gas and totally missed something, right? And you make them pay for it for the whole week. How do you stop yourself from that? If you've ever done that.
Yeah. Right? I think that's internal. I think you have to, so that's stuff you got to work on yourself to not do that. And to release it. I had to work on that. To like, when it's over, it's over. And don't bring it up 4 months later. Don't throw it in his face 6 days later. If you say you're done with it. I'm going to tell you, I had a ex, a former ex who was my friend. And apparently, you know, I forgot about a lot of things in our relationship when we were in our 20s. God forbid I forget. And so he was bringing up what I did to him when we were 20 something. And he kept bringing it up. So I said, listen, I've apologized for this. I don't even remember it. And I'm sorry I don't remember because I hurt him too. Right. I said, but if you could just tell me what I need to do so we can move on from this. Because I really can't, I'm not going to do well if you bring this up again. You probably won't see me again. Right. I just letting him know that. And he stopped talking about it. I said, let's talk about it all right now. Let's talk about all of this. So he put it all on the table. A couple hours later, we talked about it. And I said, you can say whatever you want to say. I'm not going to hold it against you. But after tonight, I need to know how you're feeling. But after this, it's got to be done. Because we talked about it for days. Like 3 different visits.
That's not sexy at all.
It was real passive aggressive too. That's the most unattractive thing ever. Is people who are passive aggressive.
So when we're mad, right? Let's say you're sleeping on the couch or whatever, and your body is like, dang, I really miss that person. Are you able to break the ice, or what's a good way to break the ice, you think? I think, and this is something else my husband and I figured out together. It can't be more important for you to be right than for you to be with that person. When we stopped caring about being right, our relationship was so good. But both of you had to make that decision. We both made that decision. Like, and I'm not talking about conceding all the time and always saying, all right, babe, you're right. I'm wrong. You're right. Even when they're wrong. But I'm saying, like, you got to just figure out, are you sweating something small? Is this life-changing what they've done? Is it a big deal? So he looked at somebody's butt while you were sitting in a restaurant. How long are you going to talk about it? How long are you going to talk about it? For me, my husband and I would see a butt go by and I'm like, babe, look at that butt. Yes, that would diffuse all of that. Right. And then I'm like, what you going to do with that? Can you do something with that? And he'd be like, nah, that's too much for me. And we laugh about it. Right. Because I trust him. I trust our relationship. I trusted that he loved me. And I'm not worried about, the men are visual. Absolutely. If you think a man's not going to look at somebody else, you're. But we look though too. Exactly, but they're really visual, right? So it means less to them. Now, correct. You know, we be sizing somebody up. I think most men are just visual. They look, they appreciate. Now I'm not talking about the disrespectful ones that turn all the way around. You know, 180 and all that. When they come back, they should come back to an open hand slap. I'm not talking about that. But I'm talking about the ones who just, they're looking. You see the girl coming down with a 20-inch waist and 45-inch hips. You're looking at her. Right. You know she's about to be in his vision. Facts. The fact that you think that you're going to get mad for him looking is so unfair. It's not right. But I think all those things have something to do with the passion that comes to bed at night. Absolutely. Now, somebody else I knew in my life before my husband didn't understand that what goes on during the day has everything to do with what goes on at night. Explain. Like, if you don't call me, I haven't heard from you. There's nothing going on during the day. You just gone. And then you think you could come home at 10 o'clock at night because you're a workaholic or whatever. Then you got to go play a sport. And I shouldn't be upset because I know where you are. Right. Didn't understand that you needed to be here with me. Then don't think you're just going to roll. I'm in bed.
Don't think you're just gonna roll in the bed and we're just gonna do something.
Right.
Because women are mental. Most women are mental. Now, some of us could do what we're gonna do when we want to do it.
But if you so this is different than knowing that, hey, I have a long day at work, because we have our long days, right? I'm not gonna be able to text, call, or whatever. That's different than what you're saying. Like if we're communicating in the morning, like, hey babe, what's your day like today? Oh man, it's gonna be a crazy day today, right? Is that okay that I don't text you during the day, or?
I think so.
Yeah. Okay.
I think if I have an understanding with that like that right now, like I understand that I'm not gonna hear from you until after, almost bedtime.
Right.
Because you work so hard or whatever.
Right.
I don't think anything's wrong with that.
Because we all have those days, right? That we just can't get in touch. But then making sure you follow up somewhere along the day.
Yeah. I feel like we're emotional, mental beings, women mostly. And we need that passion passion has to start in our heads before it goes to in between our legs.
Right. And so is it too much communication during the day? Is that possible too?
It could be. Depends on what you want. That's something you have to talk about. You might be like, babe, you're calling me too much. I got to get my work done.
Right.
And then it might be, babe, it don't have to be a call. It could be a text.
Right.
I'm thinking about you. I love you.
Right.
That could start a great thing.
Right.
Also, having an understanding of what's happening in the household if you live together. If I remember we took turns cooking. When I knew it wasn't my time to cook, it was very exciting. Because when I got home from a very long day, we worked 10, 12 hours. When I got home, I knew, I don't have to cook, so I can go run the tub. I can go read a book. It's my time to decompress. And my husband did the same thing. That the next day was his turn to decompress.
And did he cook and do the dishes, or did y'all kind of like cook and one person do dishes? It kind of depends.
If whoever cooked, the other person did the dishes.
Gotcha. So you still had something to do in there,
but you didn't have to go right in the kitchen and start cooking when you got home.
Right.
You could go
which is a different thing too.
Yeah.
Which helps you plan your day a little bit better too, right? So having some type of organization helps as well.
Yeah.
So if you get through that, so then if you can't talk, right, and you mentioned something earlier about Post-its or whatever. So you guys live together because you were married, of course, and you left notes and stuff. Like, if you're not living together, can you still leave notes, or is that the text message thing? Like, how can you do those little cutesy things to let somebody know you're thinking about them, or you're kind of excited to see them during the day if you're busy and they're busy?
Somebody sends me songs. And I think that's really sweet. You can send a YouTube song that matters to you, that means something. You know what I'm saying? You can send a note just saying, I'm thinking about you. Because they might not have a whole lot of time for a whole long dissertation, but just saying, I'm thinking about you with a smiley face or, whatever.
Right. And if I give you, if you give me this, so this is the other thing I've noticed a lot of times about this passion part. Like, say I write this whole poem in a text, right? And you just bounce back and say, oh, that's nice. And then that's it. Or, okay. Is that worse than not texting back? Because sometimes as women, like, well, you should have just responded. And I said, okay, all I said was, okay, that I like it because I'm busy. I'm at least responding to you. But then that's not enough. Is that something that you see, or have you seen, or have you ever felt that before?
I think, yes. But I was very verbal to say, hey, I sent you blank. I've sent something and didn't get a response at all. So I was like, did you see what I sent you today? And sure enough, they didn't see it.
Right.
Because there's a lot going on.
Right. Instead of getting caught in your feelings a little bit.
Right. Instead of me just assuming that they saw it and they're being disrespectful. And they were like, oh no, the last thing I saw was this. And I know that's true. So they didn't look up and they didn't go up. They just saw the last text I sent.
Right. I've done that a lot.
I've sent more than one thing.
Right. It's hard to go back.
Yeah. And then they was like, oh, I'm sorry. Or maybe you should just talk about, hey, babe, I send you things and you just send a thumbs up. Is it because you don't really have time to respond? Give them a chance to answer. And if they go, yeah, I'm in board meetings all day and I appreciate what you're doing, but I can't do a lot of that, then respect that. It makes me smile
when I see it.
Yeah.
So please keep doing it because it makes me excited, but I may not be able to do that.
And if they don't verbalize it, I would say, well, would you prefer me not to do it? Let them. And if they say, actually, yeah, if it's okay with you, if we could just wait till after 5 or whatever it is, don't get mad because you just asked him. And he's giving you an honest answer. And I think one of the things that we do often in relationships about this passion piece is that we think that people want the same thing that we want. That's what they receive as passion. Like, you talk about the 5 love languages or whatever. Like, if I am a touchy person or something like that, I just automatically think you like that, right? But so knowing what's special to them. So, like you mentioned songs. If I know a person loves a lot of songs, they love a particular artist. Everybody knows I love Prince, right? So whenever they see something, they're going to send it to me. That's a base friendship to me, But even if it's somebody who's close to me, they send me, I don't know, do me, baby. I don't know, we connected like that. I'm like, oh, yay, right? So knowing that person makes a difference. Yep.
Yeah. And you can't know somebody if you're always mad at each other and separated in the household, right? So let's say we got through the mad thing, and now we're talking about how do I get that passion when it's a chore. So we talked about the communication piece, maybe some organization about chores in the house, especially if you live together.
So nobody's feeling overwhelmed.
Right. What about when you're in a distant relationship, right? Like, how do you keep the romance going when you don't see each other? Maybe you live in the same city and you only see each other once a month or once every 2 months, but you're not married.
How do you live in the same city?
You can live in the same city,
okay,
or
so it's not long distance.
Well, I mean, I'm using it as an example.
Oh, okay.
We only see each other once a month because my schedule, your schedule.
Oh, okay.
Maybe I travel a lot, right?
Gotcha.
So we can only get together once a month. Or if you're someone that lives somewhere far away in Canada or California, how do you keep that spice going when it's a long distance? Sometimes it's the calls. Scheduling your calls together. Like fun things. What kind of fun things do you do? Have you thought about ever doing when you have like a long distance relationship or somebody you just don't see often, but they're on your mind? Outside of just texting, people still send stuff in the mail? People order stuff? I mean, maybe deliver Uber Eats one day. You know what I mean? Like that's something nice. Like that. So
now, to me, that's work. If you want to talk about work, because you got to really be conscious. I'm sorry.
No, please explain.
No, I was just saying you got to be conscious. Like. You got to be conscious of those things, like you just said, like sending Uber Eats. You got to be conscious of that. You got to be intentional, more intentional than conscious, more intentional.
Because you're not together in the same house.
Exactly, and I'm only seeing you once, twice a month. So if I really like you and I want this to grow, I'm going to be more intentional about it.
So intentionality.
Because I don't have that many opportunities if I'm only seeing you twice a month.
Well, you can be in the same house and not have the opportunities because you don't make the space for the opportunities.
Yeah, that's.
People can go a week. Like somebody gets up at 6, they leave, they come back late, and the other person goes to bed early, so they never really see each other, right? I hear people say often, well, they're a night person and I'm a morning person, and I don't like when they come to bed late. But then you're asleep. So how do you those type of things, kind of the cross wires and what we get stuck in our patterns, right? So breaking those patterns up and doing the work, intentionality. So you can be intentional with passion. Is that what I'm understanding we're saying?
I think you could to have passion in that space where you're long distance or you don't see each other as much. You have to be more intentional. I think that is what you said before. I think if you're not communicating, nothing's happening. And yelling at each other or just telling each other how we feel, how the other one feels, not necessarily communicating. Right. Because to me, communicating is I'm telling you how I feel, you tell me how you feel, and then you actually heard me. And I like it when someone shows me that they heard me. I just said the other day to someone, thank you. I could tell that you listened to me and you heard me because the next day you did blank. So I knew that they heard me and it mattered to them. They wanted to make it better from what I had just said to them. I think we have to be open, not to be, not to be defensive. We got to be, that's with friendships, that's with girlfriends, that's with boyfriends, that's with whoever, your children.
Absolutely.
You can't tell your kids, and I don't want to go in the rabbit hole, I know we're talking about passion, but it's almost the same concept of telling your kids, you can tell me anything. And then when they tell you something, you might not say it then, but you're going to bring it up later.
Right.
You know what I mean? And use it against them later. That's not cool. And that's not cool to do to your mate, girl, woman, man, no matter who it is.
I think it's like living life in a truthful space, right? And not a vindictive space or using passion for punishment. We do that a lot as well. As you said, being truthful, and then I'm punished for being truthful with you, right? That's not a good thing. So if you're able to get through all of those things, right? And a lot of people they can get through that.
With a little help.
With a little help. But the passion, right? Keeping that passion alive is, when we were younger, I remember a lot of times, if you had like heated arguments, you had makeup sex. We don't do makeup sex when we get older. What happened to that? Bring back makeup sex in relationships if you've been together for a long time. If you're angry about something, you two just, go have sex. Have that makeup sex, right? Touch each other, because a lot of times once you touch each other, a lot of that stuff will melt away. The frustration will melt away, and then you can talk logically with each other, right? Have that makeup sex. both consenting adults, of course, right? But makeup sex is kind of like that I miss you sex. It's an intensity that sometimes we miss because we become complacent in our relationships. We don't talk, we don't communicate, and we expect people to know because we've been together for a long time. Or even if I just told you one time, I expect you to remember that. 2 times, maybe 3 times tops, but communication. Nobody's just going to know what you want. I can study what you like and understand what you want and figure it out, but you got to be able to say what you want, right? Like, I'm really mad at you, but I really want to be with you tonight, right? And being real with it, or being real with yourself, right? Don't punish somebody with withholding sex. It's just ridiculous.
Oh, wow, yeah, that's bad. I was gonna say too, for those old heads that have been, old heads they've been together forever, and they listening to us now saying, yeah, that's cute to recognize all that, but I'm set in my ways, or I'm 60 plus, and we've been together for 42 years, and people think that going somewhere else is the answer. Sometimes it might be, but most of the time it may not be. But I think that you have to be willing to say, hey, we've been together a long time. Maybe we should do some things differently. And maybe you could do this exercise that I've done before, where you have a piece of paper, I have a piece of paper, and we on one side we write down everything we like about each other, everything, and then the other side we write down everything that is making this harder than it should be. We got to be open though to the to the feedback. Just think like you're at work. Think like it's your boss. Would you just cuss your boss out? No, you would not. Well, most of us would not. Would not. So listen to what they have to say, and then this is the trick. You listen to their feedback and you don't respond today. You say, I heard you. They got your paper, you have their paper.
That's hard for us.
And you say, I heard you. I'm going to process. I'm going to sit with this for a day. Can we get back together tomorrow or Saturday, whatever it is?
Because we usually want to prove a point.
Right. Yeah. That's where it can't be important for you to be right. I released that a long time ago.
Absolutely.
Even when I'm right, I'm like, if it ain't life or death, it's okay. I don't need to be right. Even with my daughter, she been wrong a lot. But to keep the peace, and it's not life or death, it's not life changing, it's not gonna make her a better person, then I don't care. Now, if it's something that she needs to know, you wrong and you shouldn't have done blah, I'm saying that, of course. But that piece of paper thing, and then sitting down and then discussing it, making notes, think about you're at work.
Right.
Making notes about, you don't like this, and then really having honest conversations. It might take a week to get through all that.
Right.
Because it could be hard.
Yeah, it's very hard.
A lot of people don't want to hear about themselves. You got to be open to feedback.
We like to blame a lot.
Yeah.
We don't take ownership in our part a lot. So people, real talk. Let's take ownership. Let's find the passion. Sit together. Go to a drive-in. They still have the drive-in on Moreland.
Hold hands. What's the last time you held hands?
Absolutely. That's what lay your hand on their shoulder.
Hold hands.
I might feel a little uncomfortable. I hyperventilate sometimes, right? I'm like,
You're in your soft girl era though.
I'm working on me, right? Let me toss the blue hair back. But I don't do PDA a lot. I just don't do public. I just don't do it. I don't. So walking through the streets holding hands is like. And I said, you know what? It's okay. It's okay.
Wait, stop.
It's okay.
You walk through the street somewhere holding hands in Atlanta?
I've done it a lot. I'm a hugger, but I'm not used to just walking and holding. One, because our strides are usually different. If you have to slow down, the strides have to be in step or whatever, but that's the excuse. Anyway. Step outside your comfort zone.
That's a good one.
Put your head on somebody's shoulder.
It could be your husband of 42 years,
right,
or your new boo of 4 days.
Right.
But don't be afraid. Well, let me say this real quick. I think that some of us resist or hold back because we're afraid to be vulnerable, because then you might think you're in control, and we want to be in control. Right. I feel like if you are good with yourself and know that no one can hurt you. So try to teach my daughter. No one can hurt you. They might just disappoint you. And you can move on. Everything don't have to be dramatic. Every relationship don't have to be heartbreaking. Every date don't have to be heartbreaking. If you could just be like, I'm going to stay in the moment and enjoy this today. And I like this person. I hope it, goes to another day. Right. But if it doesn't, I'm good for this day. Right. That's where you got to get to. That's work. That's the work.
That's the work.
That's the work.
And if you really don't like that person, maybe you guys are grown apart and you really don't like who you're with right now, take a look at yourself, but you don't punish each other and just be with each other because you have been together for 30 years or 40 years. Life is changes with the blink of an eye, right? And what I always tell people, you don't leave this earth miserable. Right?
There you go.
You want to, if you want to feel love, then feel love. Don't do it behind the sheet, behind the curtains or whatever, cheating or whatever. Just keep it real. If this is not serving both of you and you guys can't work on it together with coaching, counseling or whatever, or just communication, then you might have to think about other options, right? But try that first. Try the passion. Try to just hold hands. Because when you hold hands, somebody's touching you and caressing your hands, or maybe a massage or whatever. Have empathy. The shirt says empathy, courage, integrity. What else is on the shirt? Trust. What else is on here?
Wonder, agency, and innovation.
Be innovative.
Girl, you is
in your relationship. It's been a long day.
Lot.
It's a lot. I say a lot.
Saying a lot.
Passion.
Can I say one more thing about
this? Please. This is why I call the emergency meeting.
I didn't know this is what we're talking about.
This is the emergency meeting.
This is one of my things.
It's emergency. It's summertime. I want people to be happy in their relationships.
I know at our age, when you get past 50, sometimes your libido drops. It's not about your mate at all. It's your libido. And some of us, especially men, seem to be embarrassed to say, because, the society says they're supposed to be hunters and have sex all day long, every day, no matter how old they are, because they can make babies until they die.
Right.
But I feel like if you're in a relationship with someone, they got to be able to trust you. So let's say it's the man who's lost his interest. If you have thrown other things in his face that he has shared with you, he's probably not going to share with you that his libido is down.
Facts.
He's not going to share it with his boys either.
Facts.
He's just going to be it. And you just going to think he's cheating. He wants somebody else, but he really don't have it for nobody.
Right.
But if you have been sweet to him and trusting to him and his confidant, he might be more apt.
Absolutely.
To share that with you. And if we're experiencing, you got to be honest with your mate. You got to be honest and say, oh, it hurts when I have sex now because I'm a little dry, because I'm over, whatever. Or, it's not that at all. It's my brain,
I can't turn it off.
Yeah.
Right. I can't get into the moment.
Right. And maybe you need to do something to do that. The other thing I was going to say is you got to find passion with yourself before you can find it with someone else. So if you have lost the passion for your mate or whoever, just lost passion in general towards someone else, then you might want to have some time with yourself to get yourself in a place where you're having orgasms and to remember what it is you like.
Right.
And get you some visuals.
Absolutely. And if you can't jump right into that, then try doing something that is just for you. Again, maybe getting a facial or getting something where you're getting touched and you're being pampered for a minute so you can relax yourself. So you can go into it, right? Sometimes that if you have a space where you can calm yourself down, center yourself before you go and try to do whatever you do with your partner, that helps a lot. A yoga class, I think we were just talking about how different places have free classes sometimes on different things. Do something for yourself, self-care. Again, that's a huge piece. Self-pleasuring is a huge piece, but self-pleasuring is not just the orgasmic part. It's the part about, wow, that felt great.
Just know it feels good to you.
You're right. It feels good, and that's not always shopping, or the drinking or whatever it is. Really just be in the present moment. Right? Don't just be. Yeah.
So you came here today.
I'm trying to say sex lives. It was an emergency. What was that? What was
trying to help people find their passion.
I had some classes last year about emergency care, intimacy care, urgency, something like that. I can't remember. Yeah. So somebody asked me to do that again this year. I'm gonna see what my schedule is like. But brothers, if you're having that problem with the libido and you can't talk to anybody, again, call me. My name is Mistress Angela. We're not having sex, but I can help you through that conversation, right? Because that's a huge conversation when I say mistress. But
she is a professional.
I am a professional, right?
I can help you with your woman or your man.
Right.
For that matter. Right.
Or prepare you for the next person, right? If you're single. But for real, please, please, please just communicate with somebody. You can have what you want in your relationships. Sometimes it's got to be vulnerable in a relationship. And if you don't know how to be vulnerable, be vulnerable. That wine is good. It's talking to me. It is
good. It's very berry.
It is very berry. But just communicate. Just try for a minute to be with your person with no other stuff. Just be with them. Yeah, and go from there. So thank you so much for this emergency thing today. Intimacy care, urgent care was here today because I got one more call. I don't know what I'm going to do this summer because my partner don't want to talk to me. Okay, I don't know what to tell you. So I was a little frustrated. So thank you so much.
Do you know what your passion is?
Oh, yes, I do.
I want talking to you. We know she knows. I feel very fortunate that yeah.
And sometimes we forget, right? We do forget. You got to remind yourself when something happens where it can remind you. I know we're going long, but sometimes just pause for a minute. I think I told you I had 5 days to myself. No TV, no outside stuff, no computer stuff. And I really get to recenter myself. If you can't do 5 days, do at least 12 hours, 6 hours, 4 hours, whatever you can do, block that time.
Because if you can't be passionate with yourself, how are you going to be passionate with someone else?
Absolutely.
And it's not fair for you to put that kind of pressure on anybody.
Absolutely.
They're supposed to just do it and make you feel this kind of way.
Absolutely.
When you don't even know what you feel anymore.
Absolutely. And what you need as women. Let's not
and guys.
do that. Right, we do.
Some guys be like, oh, you just not doing it for me no more.
We get older and we become pillow princesses too. Like, just whatever you do, I'm here. Just do what you want to do. I hear that from women. I tell my husband, do whatever you want to do. I don't care. I'm here. Okay.
And then you wonder why.
Absolutely. Do you understand what I'm talking today? Okay, that's why we're talking.
Oh, right? Y'all. So we need to have. Oh, yeah, we need to.
So, real talk. If you're stuck in that place and can't get out of it, call myself, Sabrina. Let her know she can get in touch with me, or you can talk to her and we can talk together. Whatever it is, I will be doing some sessions sometime soon. I just got to figure that out in my life schedule. But for real, talk to somebody. Don't do any of that stuff we just talked about.
Pillow princess. You lost me at pillow princess.
Just
okay,
lay
go
back
ahead.
and just do what you want to do. I'm cool. And nobody wants to do that.
Be happy that I'm here.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, wow. I've never thought of that before.
Because you don't have that issue. You enjoy being with whoever you're with.
You just said a really good thing. Mm-hmm. I know we're going long, but you just said a really good thing. You have to enjoy it.
You have to enjoy it.
Somebody okay, I don't want to say too much.
We're going to close.
A man asked me about going down on a woman. And I said, he's like, I've never done it before, and I want to start doing it. I said, the first thing you have to know, and this goes for women too who want to do this as well.
We did the banana thing
with a man or a woman.
Remember this show we did?
Right.
Okay, go ahead.
But the first thing you got to know, do is you have to want to do it.
Absolutely.
If you're doing it because you think that this new person wants you to do it,
absolutely,
and you don't really want to do it,
absolutely,
that energy is going to show up. And then there is no passion.
It's not.
The passion comes from the literal love of doing it.
Absolutely.
Whatever it is.
Right. The desire from the other person is still there, but they don't want you to do it if you're going to do it like that.
Right.
If it's technique, okay, we can talk about it. If it's something you're like, I just don't like the smell of him or her or whatever it is, there are things that we can do to change that. You know what I mean? Like, whatever it is, if it's a taste, if it's whatever, that's a dietary thing. A lot of times it's dietary. Mm-hmm. We can fix that. So if it's something technical, we can fix that. If it's something that you just like, I just don't like doing it, maybe it's some trauma.
And that's fine.
Let's talk about that too, right? What can we do to substitute that, right? So we can both be fulfilled in the way we need to be in this relationship and have a healthy, intimate life.
And be honest. Because they're going to think you don't want them. They're not going to understand that you just don't want to do it. And then there are apparatuses out there now that will do it for you.
Facts, there is.
That will drive your man nuts.
Facts.
Or your woman.
Facts.
Same exact thing. So if you don't want to do it, there are other things that will replace it for you.
Right.
That will give them the orgasm of their life and all is good.
Right. And I'm not good. So with that part, those things are out there. But I like to be able to share because once you start dividing things up, and I'm sneaking off to do this, even if it's not a person, if it's porn or if it is the apparatuses, and I got to hide it from you, that's another division in that relationship. So let's not create division. So you got to be able to be honest and say what you desire.
And you got to be secure.
And that's a huge thing for us. A lot of us aren't secure.
I mean, there are men who are still hiding just to go get themselves off because a woman thinks they're not enough. And that's not the case.
Facts. It's
not the case most of the time. Most of the time it's because they just need more or they want to do it.
They just need to take the edge off.
It's just like, take the edge off before you can get the rest of the day done.
Right. Facts.
Find your passion.
Cheers. Find your passion.
Oh, your glasses empty, girl?
Yeah, I told you, girl, it was a day.
Thank you, Mistress Angela. That was a nice surprise. Didn't know we were talking about this.
Thank you for entertaining this conversation today. I know we're coming back next time and finish up the dating stuff, but this is critical for my people that are connected with people. If you're trying to get connected, that it's a lot. It's a lot. I need y'all to do better. Do better. Get that I miss you sex. That I miss you session. Is that what you call it?
Mm-hmm. And it could be just today. I just missed you today, man.
Right.
You don't
just
have to be
them.
days and weeks. It could be today.
That part. Today I miss you.
And you fine. And don't forget to give them compliments.
Yes, men too.
Yeah.
If they smell good, tell them they smell good.
Yeah.
Tell them that.
Boy,
tell
you fine.
them. Find something amazing on your person and be sincere about it. You know what? Your eyes are glistening today. You're sparkling today. Whatever, and mean it.
Yeah.
Like, your hair is so bouncy today. See? And I meant that, right?
But it's what you just said too. Like, I have been able to look and go, damn, you fine. Just see you getting something out the oven. And appreciate the rip in the arm that just moved when you put, you know what I'm saying? But if you're saying what you're saying, then that means some people are not even looking at each other. No. They're not even looking. You got to look at each other.
So your assignment until the next time we talk, and I'm going to ask this the next time we get together. Just look at your partner and see what you appreciate and value. Like, you know what? I like this size, I don't know, 16 shoe. I just made that up. Or I like the way he bakes or whatever. Like if he's on a grill, because it's grilling season. Compliment the brothers when you're grilling. And you sexy in that apron, babe. Boy, what?
But guess what? You might do all what Mr. Angela just said and not like anything. And it might be time to go.
It might be. You got to know.
But make sure you've done everything you could do.
Absolutely. So thank you guys so much for spending time today. It was important to me to share this today because it's June and the summer goes by quickly and I want you guys to have some fun together.
Thank you, Mrs. Angela.
No problem.
Just please don't forget to subscribe, follow us on Facebook and Instagram about the Saging Thing. Subscribe to YouTube and watch our YouTube channel. Please share it with one person. And we have finally broken 100 subscribers.
Woo! We three digits.
So we appreciate it, whoever did that for us. Thank you so much. And just continue to share our page, just one person, and subscribe to our channel. And we really want to grow. We think we're doing good work.
Right. We have some other surprises coming up soon too. So wherever you see us, you come spend some time with us.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mrs. Angela.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys.
Go out there and find your passion.
Find it.